Dr. Mazrui, I've seen figures that fluctuate anywhere from 50 to 60 to 100 million Africans who lost their lives during the European transatlantic slave trade. Mm-hmm. Some African experts even see the figure as it being even higher than that. Mm. What does your research indicate?
Well, first, I wouldn't limit it to those lost their lives at sea, because the business of capturing slaves involved a good deal of warfare. You attack villages, you turn people against people. So there are a lot of casualties before the actual capture as part of the process of capturing, you see. So most figures just limit themselves to who died after people had actually been enslaved, and forget that the process of enslavement itself was destructive and did a lot of killing on the way towards catching others. It is true, it's very difficult, nevertheless, to compute what the total figure is. So I'm as defeated as many historians, but I would say those who are on many figures, on big numbers, I think are at least morally justified, because the numbers are wider than those who perished just in the Middle Passage. There were many who perished pre-Middle Passage, who perished in the raids for slaves, sometimes who perished in the forts by the sea, waiting to be exported, because they were packed in there, and sometimes every so often there would be epidemics breaking out that would kill them. There was no attempt at sanitation or health. You know what happened with refugees running away into Zaire from Rwanda. It doesn't take very long to start epidemics. You can imagine what it was like in unsanitary conditions 300-400 years ago. You see. So many perished before they touched water, and therefore the numbers were horrendous, but I'm reluctant to put a figure to them.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've talked a lot about the European responsibility insofar as reparations go, but there certainly was an Arab influence there in the slave trade as well. You want to expound on that?
Yes, the Arab slave trade was older but smaller. Yeah, so it was older, it had started much earlier, so it was 1,000 years older than the transatlantic slave trade. It was smaller and on much smaller ships, of course. I lived in a part of East Africa where I lived with the ships. The dhows came in. Those dhows had been coming in for hundreds of years. Yeah, they would take a dozen slaves at a time. So you're really talking about a much smaller scale of slave system.